Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Kolam Ylah, Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kakadash. Double honor to the apostle and Elizabeth Millstone, peace I Jade, hopeful elect, Shalom. And I would like to pretty much, start off this lesson with a video. I'm not trying to make it long, I'm just trying to keep it plain and simple. But this anime that I was watching like a couple months back, called The Great Pretender, it goes into showing like underground, I'll say illegal activities where people pretty much like make money off of, and they don't want to really spoil it too much, but it's an interesting show, and how a lot of things are pretty much staged, just for the purpose of making money. I think it's a good anime to watch. I think it's still on Netflix, but I'm on a platform called Bflix, which is pretty much cheap and easy to watch, like, stream pirate movies and things of that nature. I'm a little willing that that Esau doesn't give me a copyright strike for this video. But without further ado, I just want to show like this quick scene on how this man is using wisdom when dealing with a woman, and for the most part, an Americanized woman we're talking about. So let me roll the clip.
Looks like we share a penchant for games of chance. We're two of a kind. It's only fitting the two of us are becoming such good friends. I wanted to thank you for earlier, privately.
Hold on. What makes you think that we're friends? This is just business, that's all. I thought I told you. This isn't your place.
That's not very nice. I thought women were your muses.
Only if you're 20 or younger. I'm certainly not in the market for a cougar like you. That wrinkly skin makes me nauseous.
That jackass! He's disgusting! The only reason he doesn't find me attractive is because he's a damn pedophile!
Whoa. Calm down, Cynthia. You did your best.
What the hell do you mean I did my best, huh? Are you trying to say I'm an old cougar too?
What now? I think you're very young.
I never thought he'd treat her like some old
Here,
bat.
hold on to this.
Change of plans.
Okay, so with that being said, I'll just bring out some scriptures, and Lord willing, make this lesson edifying to the hopeful life. And the scripture says, Proverbs 31 verse 3 says, "Give not thy strength unto woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings." And honestly, when you're an Israelite man, you're pretty much supposed to be like a king, especially if the Lord gives you this truth. And and hopefully, for being in this truth, speaking as for myself, that for those that's pretty much like sincere about this, that we could be the hopeful elect, you pretty much will be like a upper echelon king amongst the nation of Israel, because a lot of Israelites don't necessarily want to be in that, having that title as of right now, because they don't understand the purpose of this truth, but without going into another topic, I just wanted to mainly stick on this point of how that man, he had like a kingly like mindset, because he is pretty much from the Middle East, and I forgot which part in the Middle East. I think it was in I think it was Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. But he went as far as saying that how he's not going for a woman that's in her 40s or whatever, that he wants to deal with a younger woman, preferably in her 20s or younger, like he'd rather deal with a woman like that than dealing with a cougar. And he had a point there, and she was mostly trying to like charm him and trying to seduce him into basically funding for some illegal activity or whatever. because he's rich and he has a lot of money, and she's trying to use, her seductive, promiscuous ways to seduce him into basically funding, her agenda. And a lot of times, a lot of men find themselves in situations like they get fucked over financially or maybe even physically because of a woman seducing them and leading them into a trap, you know? And that woman, she, being that she's in her 40s or whatever, she's not really at the pinnacle of her beauty. That's usually when a lot of women, their beauty starts to decline a lot of times in their, what you call, um, usually in their 30s or maybe in their late 20s sometimes. But she still look attractive, but at the same time, it's like she's almost getting old. So, and plus, you can already tell with the mindset of an American, the average American woman, how many bodies she had, how many men she slept with, and pretty much maybe even married and divorced. And trust me, all those issues that they had in their past relationships, they're gonna bring all that with the new man they're with. So, that man is smart. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I know he could attract, like, with being rich and wealthy, he could attract a lot of beautiful women in his own country. And usually in the Middle East, you will find women that are real women that know how to cook, women that know how to clean, that know their place, know when to keep their mouth shut, that are not combative, that are not brawling. And you've seen that woman getting so mad and acting so contentious just because she can't, seduce that guy. Just because she can't have her own way, afterwards. She didn't do it in front of him, of course, but she just did it like, you know, because she's obviously putting up a show, putting up an act, I'll say. And that's what these women do. Because you must believe that women, they may be retarded in certain aspects, but they're not really that dumb. Like, they're very manipulative. And they're like children. They're very slick and cunning. And just like the serpent, they're very deceitful. And it says in verse 30, favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. And usually how a woman fears the Lord is that she will do what the Lord commanded the woman to do, right? And she'll do it to the best of her ability, And he, as a man, even though he's an Arabic guy, and most Arabic people, they follow after the Muslim doctrine. This is a TV show, so, but at least like from what he said and for how he maneuvers, with that mindset, with that mentality of being misogynistic, they claim in today's society, that he says that he's only dealing with business and how women shouldn't be in that particular business or whatever. He holds certain beliefs on how women's supposed to be because he comes from a country where women are, let's just say, are expected to do certain things, right? And the feminism is not the same how it is in America, where women get to have so much right to do whatever the man does, and to think that women are superior to men. That's the mindset in America. And ain't no man that, especially the man that has money in the Eastern countries, None of them want to deal with an American woman, with an Americanized woman. I'll tell you that. I even did a video about most men in America are pretty much on their vacations. They're taking trips, going overseas to the east, to find women. You won't find that men in the east trying to live in America to deal with American women. You won't find that. Because American women are toxic. And a lot of times they're full of snares and traps. All they care about is what you could financially provide for them. They don't care about what traits and qualities that you have, that could de-escalate stress and de-escalate, uh, you know, anxiety and things of that nature. They don't care about that. All they care about is the financial resources. In Ecclesiastes chapter 25, let me see. Verse, where do I start off? I'll say like verse 21. It says, stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. And that's exactly what that man didn't do, and he may be a man in his late 20s or early 30s or so, given from his look and appearance. And he pretty much like, has wisdom when it's coming to dealing with women in general, because usually like a lot of the times I'll say like when you have like a good sex life or so, you're not gonna care or be desperate to wanting to deal with women, on a certain level to where you're out there like a chicken with no head trying to do everything to please that woman, and she's out there playing games with you. But that's what these women do in America mainly, and women in those countries, especially in the Middle East as well, they they wouldn't dare try that shit that American women do, because if they do that, they'll get their asses killed. To even backtalk that man, or to to take off their head cover, to dress wearing like jeans, or dressing up in wearing like, let's just say, any revealing clothing like how women in America do, they'll get killed for that. If they out there trying to be a whore in the streets. It says, let me see. Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to get abroad. And that's the most of these women in America, that's their mindset, is they want to have liberty to do whatever, liberty to go wherever, and ain't no real man want to deal with a woman like that. They don't want to deal with a woman that thinks that they're equal or superior to them, because you find that she's going to be insubordinate to you. She's going to be anarchical towards you and your authority that you try to have in your home. And these women have the mindset of never settling for less, and that how they always want to settle for more. So they already have that greedy mindset of thinking that they could take over a man's life and ruin his life, and they will do it to a couple other men as well, just to satisfy their greed, because obviously the word greed is, just having an excess of things that's beyond your regular needs. And these women, they have shown that they have that mindset of a black hole, especially the ones in America mainly, And in Titus chapter 2 verse 3 says, The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becoming holiness, not false accusers, not giving too much wine, teachers of good things, that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of Yahweh be not blasphemed. And that's exactly what those people in the Middle East, like those Arabic people, that's exactly how they will have their customs to be amongst women living in those countries, that they teach the younger woman to pretty much do the same, you know. And then you have like this wicked ass country, America, trying to spread their influences over there, and it's like, you know, they're trying to have these women to make them have that feeling of wanting to come over here so that they could fulfill their wicked desires in America. And that's insane to see that America's trying to, pretty much spread their negative influences all around. And that's the real type of woman that men should be looking for, with that mindset of wanting to be discreet, chaste keepers at home, good, obedient to their husbands, that the word of, the Lord be not blasphemed. Yeah. Mainly these women in America are just an abomination, like majority of them, you know. And the women in America, what they're teaching these younger women is how to be a whore, how to be a slut, how to fuck guys over, how to basically how to seduce and be promiscuous, to where you pretty much steal a man's resources and things of that nature. They try to teach them how to, be deceitful with their looks and their charms. I'll bring out another precept. It's the last one. And Proverbs 2 verse 10 says, "My wisdom entereth into thine heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul. Discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee." And there's another scripture that mentions that to get wisdom, all thine understanding, One of these other precepts are Proverbs 3 verse 5, "Trust unto the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding." This is the main one. Proverbs 4 verse 7, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." So yeah, so it's like when you get the wisdom, you better understand it, and learn it thoroughly. That's the most important thing. And Proverbs 8 verse 10 says, "Receive my instruction, and not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be able to it, not to be compared to it." Salakia. That's Proverbs 8 and 10 to 11. And it shows you right there that the wisdom that you have in this truth is far beyond the riches that anyone has in this earth. Because, let's just say if that man didn't have wisdom on how to deal with women, if he hadn't had that, he would have been fooled by that woman. And he would have fell for her traps. And this will be the last precept. It says, Proverbs 7 verse 25, "Let not thy heart decline to her ways, which is your mind. Go not astray in her paths. For she hath cast down many wounded, yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death." So this scripture is very twofold. One is talking about like the strange woman, talking about false philosophies, but in this case, I want to use that to this other definition of the scriptures where it's talking about like an actual, a corrupt woman, like a wicked woman, via these Americanized women. And a lot of the times these Americanized women, their problem is that they're wicked as all hell. Their ways are wicked. The house that they live in most of the times is influenced by feminism, because they came from a single mother home themselves. you know, and they forever live by the saying that niggas ain't shit, you know, or saying they don't trust niggas or whatever. But the whole time they have a bad, what you call it, choice for men, because all the men they go for is pieces of shit, and then they want a good man with the quote saying like nice guys finish last. So they want a good man when they're in their you know, in their stage of hitting the wall. And pretty much a lot of men that have money, sometimes they, if they don't have like the game or the social skills of dealing with women, they get played a lot, you know, if they don't have wisdom on how to deal with women, especially Americanized women we're talking about, you know. And they've been pretty much like they'll be fucked over financially and even physically sometimes because they might get an STD. Considering that how the average American women are adulterous and their body count is usually I'll probably say like maybe, don't want to exaggerate too much, but 10 times higher than the average man. So, you know, that man really did display wisdom on how to deal with women. So with that, didn't mean to make the lesson too long, but I was just going through the spirit. And with that, I hope I made the lesson edifying, to give all the glory, praise, and honor to Adonai, Yahweh, Bashem, Shamalak, Yahweh, Bashem, Rakdash, the honors of the apostles and elders, great melts on peace, citation, hope for that. Yahweh, Bashem, Shabbat, Bakshah, Shalak, Rayam, Adawanyam, Wako, Yam, Wa'abah, Shalom.